But anyway, the word interlocking keeps coming forward as part of what is necessary for us to come into unity as we begin the progression into creating the new world. Right now, we're in a new world order. If we talk about give a name to a structure or a time, not necessarily time, more of a structure on the planet and how we're changing with the planet. And we're in the new world order, and there's a lot that's got to happen. We don't just sit here and wait for the new world to be evolved. We are creating the new world. And one of those lovely steps that we get to take is in with each other in intention, creating an interlocking system of unity. So this is why I was given a nudge earlier in the year that it was time to create new communities like this, where whomever steps up will receive, and we all are growing through the experience of being together and creating together. Whatever our dream is, which is what we're going to look at. Taking a dream quest is one term for it, but you see we're going to go through a bit of terminology. So earlier in the week, for those of you who haven't worked with me before, I do channel, I am clairaudient. I can discuss and talk to the beings in the room. But for me to have focus and understanding and begin to ground what is needed for the group, I bring this in written form ahead of time. So I have a format to it, and I know where we're headed. And then I can do some impromptu stuff. And the guides here keep saying, and ultimately they are in the lead. And so we'll see where they point out that I need to pause or stop or have participation through the process. The most important thing is you receive what is fulfilling for you. It doesn't mean I have to get through the whole message. So I'm delighted that you're here. I'm sorry. So the intention that I was given for the group today was freedom, the overarching intention for us all, for humanity, for the planet itself, for Pachamama. So as we reside here and sit for a moment in the intention of freedom and what that feels like when we know that we're all holding it for ourselves and each other, how it feels for our systems to interlock in a way that is healthy, in a way that respects our boundaries and true expression, but also that we explore unity. So let's sit for a minute. Guidance is here. Your guidance is here. The space has been made. And as we move through this creative time together, you will be supported through alignments to higher frequencies, receive downloads and activations of various spiritual DNA of your own enlightened knowing, experience, and creativity of the dimensional realms. So let's start with just a grounding meditation. I'd like you to sit with your eyes closed and relaxed position, and allow yourself to see yourself inside your auric bubble, auric field. I like to call it a bubble, which is a term that the Quero use in Peru. And look at that bubble and see whether it could be filled more, be more taut, could release and be more resistant to discordancy. Let's go ahead and feel into our bubble. And then become aware of the top of our bubble. And at the very top, go ahead and, figuratively speaking, open up the top of your bubble and allow in this high frequency that is available to you today. This I see as the Sami, the love of Father Cosmos. You could call it the love of the moon and the stars. And bring that into the body. Allow it to cascade and fill up the body, dropping down the legs and the arms, filling every cell with the highest frequency love and freedom and truth. And allow it to fill your body all the way down to your toes, to fill your organs, your heart, your lungs, your kidneys. Relax and breathe and allow yourself to fill up again with even more Sami than you thought you could take in, even more love. And allow that to spill over into your field, into your bubble, to cleanse your field, to bring it out taut and clear and enlivened. Allow yourself to fill your body and your bubble. And then release all that feels heavy. Some might call it hucha, density, all that doesn't serve you, any internal negative thinking, thoughts of doubt. Let them drop, just drop down heavy, 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 down to the bottom of your bubble, down to Pachamama, down to Gaia, Mother Earth, where it belongs, where she takes it in with your love and receives it well. She receives it as nutrients. And in doing so, she wishes to give back to you, having received you well. Ground deeper into her. Allow your feet to feel magnetized to the ground. Feel the earth rise up to your knees. Allow yourself to ground and take up her love. She loves that you are here and she knows you exist. Take this up your heels, the back of your legs, into your body, up to your heart, up through the mind, which heals the mind, and out the top of your head to complete a circuit, a full figure 8, all the way back to Father Cosmos and the stars that surround her, her sisters, her moon. Keep filling up with Father Cosmos. Keep the circulation going. Allow it to drop down and fill you, and drop any density, load, burden, the weights of the day, the burden of thought, and let her compost it and receive from her again. This can continue like this through our meditation, but we're going to move on. So the question I have for you right now as we begin this quest to a new creation is, what more do you want in life? Where do your dreams take you? Where can life fill you up? Begin to consider this. We're going to broaden on this throughout our quest together, our time together. See what pops up for you in an intuitive way rather than in a thinking way. What would be most exciting for you in your life today? What would bring you the most health and wellness and peace and tranquility, the true abundance that is around us? These questions of what we want in life are all-encompassing, which raises the idea that all of us are creators needing to take the wheel of life and create our dreams. When we take a dream quest, we can give ourselves the chance to open up our inner workings and see where we are blocked from showing up in life as the grand creators we are. Our momentum stretches our imagination and brings forth the inner workings of the mind and how it creates. The decisions we make are more in accordance with making wishes, which from the thinking mind contrives itself as solitary and separate. The quest for monumental changes in our lives come from adherence to the heart's vision. One example of this is the wish to have a partner or lover in your life. We've all been there at one point or another. The mind approaches this by saying, actually, I'm not a lover, nor do I need a partner. The restriction arrives right alongside the wish. The heart knows the mind at a heightened state of awareness and sees both the striving and inaction of the mind, which creates tension. Nothing can be seen clearly through the limitation brought forth by the inherent mind. The inherent mind resides in separation and looks forward to rather than residing in. In one such idea of the mind, the striving will take you to meet that person and begin a life together. But the theory is conflicted. We are not aware of the separation created within the mind. There resides both the momentum of the judging and limiting and the compulsion of the wishing for the lover. This inherent resistance in each thought creates tension within you and the reality before you. There are long-standing stories held in the mind, such as, I'm not enough. Life has been rough. I can't reach for the stars. Or make such a statement that I am wellness, trusting in my expression. What a story the mind creates and carries and projects out into the world of creation. Consider that your day is a blank slate, and each day you wake up and paint it with all of these long-standing stories. It creates an empty in you, and you have withdrawn from all of the possibilities of the day in that moment. The mind can be reconnected to the heart's truth and awareness. This is taken in through the temporal lobe of the brain. A direct route to the awareness of oneness can be relayed from the heart to the subcortex of the brain and then generate a relationship with the heart. This is a regeneration of the mind so that we may create the heart's will of our highest longing. The heart is center stage in this awareness and can be seen as the upper mind creating a relationship of truth in the mind. It is a long-time understanding that the subcortex or thinking mind is the driver of will and is identified as the self. What if the will became the terrain of the heart? Let us try this now. So I'm going to ask you to follow along with me now. So far you've had a lot of different alignments done. There's been a rewiring that they talked about. I'm talking about the etheric surgeons that are here with you now. Doing a rewiring, allowing the heart's will to come to the forefront. So there's been some structural changes, and we're going to start really grounding them and creating through the heart's will. So I'd like you to remember that initial dream that came to you. What do you wish to create? What does a fulfilling life look like to you? And see how it might broaden, become more, I'm hearing flavorful, they're saying, more delightful and enlivening. What does that dream feel like in the body? So let's try now, where you come home at the end of the day, it could be today, you walk in the house and you say, I will take this day and all days before it and put them in the compost. That's an interesting concept. That's an interesting way to live. So we've arrived in the house, and just like when we take off our shoes and our hat and we hang up our coat, and we begin to say, oh, I'm going to put on something cozy and just relax and put up my feet. And by the way, I'm also going to take this day off. Any conclusions I arrived at, any negative thoughts, all love stays with us. All that resides in love remains. So we're not talking about giving that up, but we are talking about everything else that gets in the way of knowing who we are. And that can be the residual part of each day that accumulates with us. So we've imagined we've taken this off, but do you wish to hang on to the past for further contemplation? Many of us do. Make it known that in self-reliance, you may turn to yourself within each moment and create without the conflict of the residual past. In doing so, in embarking on self-reliance and turning to yourself for what is true, you are taking part in your own self-discovery. You are truly your own guidance in each moment. Turn to yourself now and see that in self-awareness, you are done with the past and create the new within you. It will be done for you now in a rearrangement of the heart's will being in command of the truth of who you truly are, without blinders, without self-diminishment, the true enlightened being that you already are. One more thing to consider is, does the heart really choose the typical arrangement of the partner? Do we need to rearrange this dream a little bit as the heart comes in with its vision? The heart may say, actually, I'm going for brighter days in another direction, where I will meet several people who delight me, and I join together with each for a while and let go. The heart says, this would be very nice. I could do all the things I want to do. There is more mobility in this, the aligned mind says. The heart has aligned the mind to understand the heart's vision and allow the heart to lead the way in truth. The mind has come into alignment with the heart's will and can continue to do so. The conflict created by the mind, by wishing for what it then blocks, ceases. There is peace and contentment, and your energy is released rather than being stifled. The heart and the mind's will are in cohesion in that moment. Cohesion is a beautiful feeling in the body. When there is no tension between the heart and the mind, there's this complete sense of bliss that can wave over you. What we create from here is complete. These are the keys to creation. There is another component that we're going to help you release, guidance is saying. The belief that I'm always let down may also arise. Residual hopelessness, they call it. A lifetime of disappointment here and there that wasn't taken off when we went in the door and composted at the end of each day can build up. And it can block our creations. So when we reside in this place of I'm always let down as a belief system in the mind, you create a day where you're always let down. I dream and it falls to the wayside. I lose and I endure. I get hopeful and fall. These are all days made by the mind's momentum. The heart is the momentum of wholeness, as we are in truth enlightened beings. And the true presence of who we are is expressed through the heart. In wholeness, we know who we are and create on a blank slate, rather than on the built-up debris of the mind's conclusions and the past. So let's make a choice now. Let's choose clearly in this moment with the support of each other and of our guidance here. Let's really come to a place where we would write something down if you chose, even if that's your mode, or you would attribute a color to it or a texture to this dream, this hope for yourself. What would fill you and enliven you, bring you into wellness and truth? Bring in additional information, bring in hope. Confirm your wish, and later, today, tomorrow, confirm it. Tell it to someone. We'll share here today. This helps it be created in voice, giving words to it, delight, flavor, structure. Other people will collaborate with you and see it through. Okay. So again, they want to look at what might divert you from your creation, because we do this. We all do this. We get diverted from our wishes and dreams. So even stray thoughts can divert you from the creation which is already in the pipeline. Doubt could be seen as an errant thought which diverts your attention and takes you to a creation of I doubt. I doubt that I will have this. So you could have a full pipeline of a creation in form already, but in our doubt, we can flatten that down, that pipeline, turn our attention to something else like getting roof fixed, wash the dishes, and that creation just goes no further. Okay, so watch the doubt go by rather than buying into it and getting diverted. So this amounts to distrust in your creative powers. and the creation may be pinched off as you walk away and bring your attention to something else. The will of the heart will arise again and realign you to love. In your willingness, you see the messages of the mind in truth. You watch those messages of doubt rise up and know that they are empty. There's nothing there of truth. They're harmless. Let them go by. You recreate this message of truth again and again through the peace and tolerance of the heart, and the mind is left wanting, ultimately wanting to return to wholeness in its rightful place, in alignment with freedom, free will, the will of choice, and the heart is in its knowing. The dreamscape we envision for ourselves is within our arena of play. The higher dimensional frequencies we use to create today are grounded in our healthy re-envisioning of our expression here. We are dynamic. We are changing. We are in a time of change. We can look out around all that's going on and get frustrated or feel as though there is nothing there for us, but that's not our creation. We turn back into ourselves, to our hearts, will, and desire, and know that we are creating our own reality, which, as we said before in intention, is interlocking with other people of higher frequency, a recreated envisioning of who they are and what is before them in truth and freedom. Well within our reach is the envisioning of the world before us. We can each reach for our dreams of wellness. Who we are and where we stand in life is a creation of our own making. We create ideas about ourselves and radiate them out and around us, ourselves, all the time. Why not make that your dream that you're radiating out? The heart does that. The mind, as we talked about, comes to a full stop and comes into tension. The heart keeps going and radiating out these positive expressions and dreams. Come, take a look at this for yourself as we plunge into the landscape of reality. So I'm going to ask you to pause here again with this dream, because we're creating an entire landscape. And the term was used was dreamscape. And we envision ourselves within our arena of play. We create our reality. We are not victims. We are not being imposed upon. We are creating it. So what do we choose to create? So here we are, we're dreaming, we're supporting each other, and we're saying, how does that feel? Will you look inward for a moment and see what you see when you say that the landscape before me is mine? Who is there? Have you arrived there? Have you come to the edge? Ah, they want me to look at this. Okay. Let's bring this in. Let's bring this as though it were this huge inviting plate before our hearts. This huge plate, this huge blank slate sitting out before us. See if you can see that internally, what it feels like to know that you're creating what is on that, the blank screen, the blank photo, the blank artist canvas. It's blank. You put on it what you choose. We've wiped it clean, the doubt, right? The interference, the past, and we envision something entirely new. Suddenly see trees. Those of you who know me know I love trees. I know there are other people here do too. I see this flat slate and it's turning green now. And now I see the trees arriving and growing up, and I'm within them. I'm in that space, wholly and completely. Try one on for yourself. Let's just see that as an example. How does that feel to have that lie out before your heart and surround you, where your entire field is filled with this vision of standing in the trees, in the forest, the supporting beings all standing around you. We are standing around you and joining in and saying, it is so fun to create your own landscape. So it's filling up, and there are colors and light and fulfillment. I still feel some residue of doubt, but this can't be for me, but not for me. You all can, but not for me, we say, as a way to separate. This is the separating mind, doubting, and creating a wedge between what actually really is the truth of you. Let it fall. You can give it to Pachamama below your feet, to the beings that are in the room supporting you. Let them take it away. There's no need for it. Okay, we're going to move forward a little further. Wellness is understood in unity. What unity is the wellspring of growth, which resides in each one of us and can be sparked to create itself. In unity, wellness is truth and can be known through the awareness of justice. Justice is a way of balancing. Justice is widely misunderstood as residing as a mental construct, but the justice we are referring to here today is the way to health, the balancing. A healthy expression expands itself out along a wide horizon of its own making. Can you begin to see this horizon for yourself? Let's see that again, the canvas before us. For me, it was the trees, and I reside within them, with them, being held. We sit on this horizon of the place we choose to be. We may see our body in health, fitness, strength, youthfulness, loving, embracing our bodies as they are is first and foremost. It is paramount. This body holds your spiritual essence. So we can start with the body and say, well, on this landscape, this dreamscape, my body is whole and happy and healthy and receiving everything it needs. And the criticisms of the body made by the mind are dropped to the wayside. So here we stand on this horizon together. We are all standing in the intention of freedom for each other and ourselves. And we're being asked by Spirit and by our own spirits to take a step forward in trust and state your intended gift for yourself. This gift could be something you feel in your heart. It could be a color. It could be a frequency. This gift, you could be holding a gem in your hand and not even be noticing it. Look under your feet. There could be a wellspring of information residing just below your feet in the templates where you connect with the planet. Where is this gift? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Step forward and receive yourself. All of these gifts are you in unity, you in wholeness. You are in a position now, they're saying, to hold this. Hold this within your reality. Bring it closer to your heart. If you're someone who is tactile, put it in your hand, whatever that feels like, and bring it to your heart. Know that it is there. Know that the wealth of who you are is coming in. And this creates the horizon, the new horizon before you. The new reality comes into form. Take this step forward with us. Stand on the very edge of creation. You are the creator. It's simply waiting for you to step in. And know you will step into this landscape of self-renewal. Hold yourself here. Feel yourself supported by the other beings who know themselves in wellness. The beings that stand before each one of us today, our guidance and the support that was called in today, stands before you as a mirror of what it is to be in health, what it is to stand in beingness and unity. They stand there like trees and mirror us and say, see what you can be. See who you truly are. Take that in. Within this landscape, we are free of shame. The etheric system is provided new enlivenment. Remember this through an activation, that within each cell is remembrance of love and understanding. Enliven this. As we evolved as a human race, we reminded each other through the toxicity of shame, through our projections or transference. Now is a time of freedom, and we can join together and remind each other of our deep, resolute love for ourselves and radiate that out. So let's put that on the horizon. Let's put that on that blank canvas that we're creating, that we stand there in wellness and truth and health. And all the other dreams are meaningful, the books, the art, the new car, the new boyfriend. This is all there as well. But let's start in health and truth and release the shame and remind each other of our resolute love of ourselves. The toxicity of shame has a strong momentum, and we strive to get rid of it. We try to avoid shame as though it were outside of us. Before long, we realize it is an emotional state. And even further along in life, we can identify with shame as who we are. Let us unwind these mental notions. This is your etheric surgeons are going to help you unwind the momentum of this and let this go. And can you say to yourself, I'm releasing myself of all shame. I am releasing the misgivings around this, the distrust, the disheartening effects of shame. It was built into our system. It was how we came in. There's no judgment that it exists. There's no harm in saying it exists. It is also time to say, I will let it go. As they unwind this, you may feel kind of a toxic release later today or even tomorrow. Just give yourself plenty of water, plenty of room, space for this to be removed. Let us sit for a moment here. There's some unwinding still going on. Let's give our guidance the opportunity to help us. And they're saying, let us help you. The beings, the highlight beings in the room. Help you unwind this. Reveal yourself. Reveal your real knowing. Express these mental notions some other time. For right now, we are listening to the heart, creating new awareness, letting go of the old threads, the DNA that does not belong here with us, and releasing. Let yourself ground again. Releasing is always easier when you're in the body. Deep into your feet, connected to Pachamama, letting her take any shame, dropping it down, any feelings of guilt, anything else that you think might be getting in the way of your dreams, your new landscape. Clean it all off. Can we go forward? Yes, they're saying we're ready. With a new momentum in place, you can ride along in peace and tranquility, knowing you are recovering your senses. This is of paramount importance to you because the ride we are on is the recreation of self. Join in the self-discovery here and imagine your landscape through the senses. Here, you may sense, again, a color, a texture, a knowing. You may hear a word. You may see something new on your landscape. Your heart might open. And I see a lot of you yawning, which is wonderful. This yawning is a beautiful release, a release of tension. It is that release of tension. So let yourself yawn. Let it be released. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Imagine yourself with your senses in this new landscape of love and joy. Are you dancing? Are you moving? Are you lying down? Are you taking in the weather? Are you creating wellness and joining in the playfulness of joy? Are there other people? Are there activities? Let it be known, let it be seen. The senses delight in your attention to perhaps a light or scent or hearing or knowing. Witness your knowingness here, and the dreamscape you desire is now before you. Can you be playful in this? This is awareness, where all the senses light up and you discover you can take a quest into your own life and make adjustments to your outcomes. Take a moment for yourself to arrive in a place of your liking. Notice where you are, what is under your feet. Look ahead, I see a moon rising. I see a bright white light. I see stones before my feet that help me to walk. They give me adherence to my own expression. Momentum is being built. It is part of our structure to be given the stairs we need to move up in frequency. See that the stairs are before you and that they are being built by you. You go up a stair, you go up an octave, and you go up again. For as long as it feels comfortable to you, you keep going up the stairs. Are there treasured gifts? Do you perceive any weight or trouble that still needs to be dropped off? Let it go. Are you able to lift your feet? Or do you need to ask guidance for more help? Always, if you don't see the next step, ask them for help and they will build you one. They'll put the step right in front of your toes so that you can inch along as slow as you like. Don't withdraw and stay with it and walk into the landscape and wait, and you will see this landscape change again and again, enliven more and more because your reality is changing in awareness. You are in awareness and your opportunity. What do you dream?